Hello everybody, hope you're doing well and welcome to a brand new video. This one is how to get Paragon as a title by the end of the year. Now let's face it, getting Paragon is actually a lot easier at the moment and running to the end of the year. And some people may be saying, no, that's not the case. But the answer is yes, it is. And let's go over the fundamentals of how that would be achieved. Over the course of the latter point of the year, when Tier 3 Alpha and Tier 6 Basic fragments became more of a prevalent reward-giving meta, it did kind of infuse a lot of, well, opportunity. And we'll say it's opportunity because it is opportunity. And I'm currently Paragon. I got Paragon back a month ago, and that was through the result of some changes Kabam did. So well done Kabam for making these particular changes. I know people might say, "Oh, Rich, you're really negative about Kabam." No, not all the time. If you're focusing on that, then you aren't focusing on the times where I've actually said they've done a good job. And they've done a good job with Eternity of Pain. Eternity of Pain, apart from saying that, you know, Cav players and uncollected players haven't had an opportunity to kind of like do any kind of summer grind random content, they've, you know, Eternity of Pain has kind of like facilitated a void for Thronebreaker players. And for Thronebreaker players, at the moment with Eternity of Pain, gives an amazing opportunity. This is actually one of the main ways in order to go and grab Tier 3 Alpha and Tier 6 Basic, especially with 16, reach 16 milestone, which currently gives you one fully formed Tier 3 Alpha and one fully formed Tier 6 Basic, which is great. You know, for a lot of Thronebreaker players, and especially those that have 100%ed Act 7, the opportunity to get another one fully formed, or another few fully formed, has been a great opportunity. And with Act 8.1 right around the corner, which is going to be a focus point, it gives players an opportunity to get rank 4 6 stars, which are going to be a real big benefit to getting any kind of gains. So, where else do some of these like come on a monthly basis for Tier 6 Basics and Tier 3 Alpha? This is why I've created a little spreadsheet, which I put the link to in the description down below. It does have two sections to it. They are very relevant. Now, what the emphasis on this is trying to track where your Tier 3 Alpha and Tier 6 Basics coming in, especially for Thronebreaker. I put little notes of things about like Paragon-based players, but the main thing that this is a focus on is Thronebreaker's getting from Thronebreaker, obviously, to Paragon and how they look to achieve that. On a monthly basis, Thronebreaker players can get themselves a good chunk of stuff. We've got the totals right here and information. So by doing the Cavalier objective, which is available for Thronebreakers, you get 17,100 Tier 6 Basic fragments, 13,500 Tier 3 Alpha fragments. Side quest objectives, normally about 11,400 Tier 6B to 9,000 Tier 3A, and then Alliance War Seasons, which is going to be if you're in a Gold 1 Alliance, and most players at Thronebreaker will be kind of around that particular mark. It could mean that that's a little bit less and that takes off the totals, but I want to say a good chunk of the player base that at Thronebreaker will be looking to challenge and could even be higher. They could even be Platinum 4, Platinum 3s. Who knows? But they haven't made that jump up to... they may be very skilled, and I have not made the jump up to Paragon just yet. But I can imagine a lot of players are Paragon. So this gives you a real good idea. In any case, if you're looking maybe not to achieve it this year, but maybe next year. But let's face it, we want to focus on this year. You want to get Paragon if you're not Paragon already. And there are methods and methodology in how to achieve it. There are currently very rare reoccurring things. And I say rare, very rare reoccurring because... well, as soon as Eternity of Pain ends in December, which I think I've totaled it kind of like ending in, that's it. It's not coming back. EOP3 is about to end in about, I want to say a month's time, because we've got week 4, and then we've got another, then we've got the Gauntlet, sorry, we've got Gauntlet and then rewards. So you still get that opportunity as Thronebreaker. And then EOP4, which again is another opportunity to get one fully formed on each Tier 6 Basic and Tier 3 Alpha. The Happy Camper, which is 6,840 fragments one way and then 5,400 another way. Cyber Weekend, if you judge on, and we've got the information here, if you've seen previous videos I've posted, then you'll know about the spreadsheets of how to achieve Tier 6 Basic and Tier 3 Alpha. And if we go off what Kabam will be offering Thronebreaker players, if you go what they offered Thronebreaker players on July 4th Deals 2022, then you will know that they offered one fully formed of each, and as well Tier 6 Basic fragments, Tier 3 Alpha fragments over to 20k for each of them. But you needed to spend, I think it was like, was it 15,000 units altogether to access? I can't remember. But in any case, Cyber Weekend may be a little bit different than this, but I would say that it would be in the same ballpark, especially considering, like, you know, it's Kabam's got to keep up some level of consistency. If anything, I think Cyber Weekend will be better for it. Paragon be really, really good, really spicy. So it really puts us into an idea of calculations. We're going to get into those calculations in a moment, but do look out for the holiday gift. It could be that. It could be a case that you get yourself, I don't know, that in the range of like something, or you might not. You have to obviously benchmark against what Kabam are going to give for free or not. And a Festive Crystal could even be more than that. Like Festive Crystal could give more or better RNG. So you could give or take one tier 6 basic or tier 3 alpha for that. But as I said, calculations are calculations, and calculations are interesting as to what you could pick up on it. And what I've done is I've actually taken out the gift, and as well factored in some different stuff in order to make it a bit more kind of realistic. So let's bring this more in, but let's now get to the facts and factually things that players can do, and also with less effort actually get themselves a lot more than you might think. And do bear in mind that in order to facilitate being Paragon, you'll need a lot. You'll need 9 of each of the things. So hopefully players can kind of like benchmark this grind with other things. So let's look at the most easiest things to get, or straightforward things to get without having to do like a load of kind of grind and stuff like that. So first of all, kicking off with the monthly recurring things. For 3 months, if you do the reoccurring content, Cavalier objective, side quest objective, Alliance War Seasons, Battlegrounds is again an iffy thing. Then if you do those 3 things there, Alliance War Season, side quest objective, and a Cavalier objective, you will get a total of 2.24 tier 6 basics, right? And you will get 2.25 tier 3 alphas, right? That's good, right? That's good. That's kind of like very low effort quite stuff, debatable with Alliance War Seasons, but still, like, being gold 1, a lot of people are getting gold 1, a lot of players are getting gold 1. The part 2 to this one is infusing that particular sum and that detail and adding it in with this, and that is, if you do with that Eternity of Pain 3 and get yourself the Thronebreaker objective, which obviously we'll talk about Thronebreaker to Paragon, and then do EOP 4, which again that kind of factors into, I think it's November, is it October time into November, and I think that's it. I can't tell if there's going to be an EOP 5. If there's an EOP 5, then that's great. That's even better for stuff. But I'm not 100% sure on this. I think it's a case that's the last one, but don't quote me on that one. I'm just not 100% sure. Happy Camper ends very, very soon, ending in October. Then we add in with Cyber Weekend. So if you're able to grab the same volume as what was put out for July 4th deals, then adding all that together, including what we know so far, can see players getting 5.87 tier 6 basics and tier 3 alphas. And you might be like, okay, well, that's interesting enough. That's 5, that's nearly 6, right? And let's face it, if those kind of like Festive Crystal come in and get a little bit more stuff, then it could push you up to 6 per each of them. But here's the thing, you will need 3 more tier 6 basics and 3 tier 3 alphas. This is where your permanent content comes in. There are some optional extras, just to kind of like put it out there. I did put a note in the spreadsheet, but yes, you can buy with the royalty store some of the various catalyst fragments, tier 3 alpha, tier 6 basic, but it does boil down to, do you do Alliance Wars a lot? Do you or do you not invest those particular loyalty points or loyalty resource into your regrinding of becoming like further up the scale with stuff with Alliance War Season rank? There's a variable that I don't really want to consider in this one. It is and should have a right to be considered, but it does factor into an individual player grind, which does differ the calculations and totals. But you know, if it helps players out, then it helps people out that kind of use this in order to kind of elevate themselves from one progression to the other. But yes, now I digress. On to the permanent content factor, and you can get 22,500 tier 3 alpha fragments and 28,500 tier 6 basic fragments just by doing the completion of Act 8.1. So you know, that's great. Doing an exploration does give you a rank 3 to 4, which essentially is the equivalent to having 3 of each of them, and that could be your last one that you need for exploring that in order to go, boom, I've got myself Paragon. But there are other options to kind of pad into this if you haven't done any of the other content already. like this. If we're looking to get ourselves 3 more from the content that we've seen in the list, that kind of reoccurring or kind of like very rare reoccurring stuff, the stuff that's going to expire in 2022, then what is going to facilitate the extras? Well, we've talked about the extras a little bit just then. Like Act 8.1, which gives a nice chunk of shards. I mean, the gem value is equivalent to 171,000 tier 6 basics and 135,000 tier 3 alpha. But there's other things, like if you want to do the Grandmaster Gauntlet, it's 34,200 T6B fragments, and that will come back soon. It's not going to go away forever. And 20,025 of the tier 3 alpha. There's also little bits in 7.4, 7.3, and 7.2 just by getting through the exploration of those particular ones. And there's other things like Karina's challenges. If there's certain Karina's challenges that you find easier and you just need like literally like 9k of each of them, or 11k or whatever of each one, then you're able to do them. And again, that's another kind of interesting factor. And even by 100%ing Act 7, which is still, it's a fun bit of content, you can get yourself a huge chunk right there. So that will give you an extra like 9.69 tier 6 basics and 9.41 tier 3 alphas just by doing all that bit of content. Now, without Karina's challenges, which I know a lot of people would kind of, and again, the reward side of things does put players off doing them nowadays. I mean, it's definitely kind of put me off because it's just from like a time grind perspective. Who wants to go into Abyss of Legends when I could quite easily do Cavalier on a monthly basis and it's less of a hassle? And what I'd essentially get from Abyss of Legends doing it again is, well, practically pants. Really big pants. But in any case, without Karina's challenges, it does mean that you can get 7.7 tier 6 basics and 7.3 tier 3 alpha just by doing all of those particular things. So again, this is good. This allows you to go, right, well, where am I going to get? And again, we looked at the calculations. It's quite easy to grab yourself the volume required to get 5.87 of each of them. So you need to then go, right, well, where do I get my remaining 3 from? 3 and a bit. And that will be from doing various bits of content, maybe waiting to the end of the year to do something in particular that's one of the lists that's on the screen right now. Completing or exploring 8.1, providing I think you've done Act 7. So yes, I think it just completed Act 7 allows you to Act 8. But still, doing that at completion is a lot of value than doing some other content. So yeah, I hope that puts into perspective how you can, as a Thronebreaker player, get to Paragon by the end of the year, and all of the easier ways that you can do it. And the spreadsheet, for your information, is available in the link in the description down below. If it helps you out, helps you out. If not, this has been a video. Thank you very much for watching. And make sure to check out some other content located on screen right now. Have a good one, whatever you're doing, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.